So how can they be used? I mean, um, I know that you are going to offer some scenarios to illustrate how.
Yes,
Okay, please.
thanks. Okay, so yeah, scenarios. Let me say first, if we're looking at the ways of using the cards, we can think in terms of a matrix in which there would be three main categories. For example, the cards can be a stimulus. For example, the card I ask more questions than I give answers can be a stimulus for me to reflect on, is this something I actually do in life? Or am I someone who is more intent on giving people answers than asking questions? It asks me like how curious I am and how much my curiosity is actually shaping the interactions I can have with my environment. And it can also be the start of a conversation with someone. So, a stimulus to have a conversation, for example. So, that's a broad category of use of the cards. Another broad category is using them as learning outcomes. So, if I am a teacher and I see repeatedly that there are some interaction problems in my classroom, or problems of racism or stereotyping or violence, or just that my students have never really reflected on the topic of democracy and what it is to be in a democratic culture, then I can use each card as a learning outcome. And I could, for example, use three of them, combine them, and then from that, create my lesson plan or my training activity, knowing that this training activity aims to develop these learning outcomes. And this is a good way of doing it because then we can use the learning outcomes again after having used them for the design in the assessment in order to be able to assess, help students self assess and do peer assessment, and also me as a teacher able to evaluate my lesson plan to see if it developed these learning outcomes or not. So, this is a broad category. And then the third broad category would be offering a response to a problem or a situation. So, for example, if there is a conflict let's say, at break time um, between the students, and I'm witness to this, and I want to deal with the situation. Well, the cards are a very good way of dealing with the situation right there, right then, through a interactive um, activity where different protagonists of the story are going to be able to step back from what happened and get into a conversational mode to actually be able to talk to each other. So, stimulus, learning outcome, and response to a problem situation are the three broad categories. And then what we have seen is that we have actually 9 scenarios that we're going to develop. All these are going to be presented in detail to our listeners. And if you follow our channel, you will have more information on how to use the cards.